Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? You know how I got to do it first. Got to make sure everything on every platform is working real smooth. So let's go ahead and check LinkedIn. What we got for LinkedIn here? Let's see if we got LinkedIn working. Okay. Yep, LinkedIn looks good. Instagram looks good. Let's head over to Facebook. What we got for Facebook? Facebook looks good. And just making sure everything copacetic on YouTube. Y'all give me 1 second. You know, I gotta do these things. Okay. Now, first, I want to make sure y'all put the LUs in the chat if you can see and hear me and see Jeffrey as well, because we want to make sure that we dropping gems, right? We want to make sure y'all get these gems. I don't want to be stuck or have latency issues, and y'all say, "Oh, I didn't hear that," and we done went over a whole 5 minutes, 10 minute spill of trying to figure out what's going on. So just let me know. Okay, there we go. Let me know if y'all can see and hear me. Well, put the LUs in the chat. But today we got a special guest. This gentleman's just been killing. And today we're just gonna talk about preparing for a cloud DevOps career. All right. I got a gentleman in here that I met the latter part of last year, and he's just been coming in, slaughtering everything that we're giving him because he's transitioning to cloud and he want to be the best engineer he can be. So with that being said, I know you put the LUs in the chat, but put the JV in the chat as well. Put the JVs in the chat and give it up for Big Dog Jeff Vaughn. What's up, man? How are you, Big Dog?
How's it going, brothers? Definitely great to be here tonight.
Yeah, same here, man. Same here. And it's all about just really these lives that we do with all the special guests. It's just really to help you because we know you come in with a certain frame of mind. What we want to do is reframe that mindset and help you leave with a new frame of mind and just give you the reality of what you're going to be looking at and the motivation and the confidence that you need to transition. And this is true stories right here from a guy who's been doing what he needs to do to move into that role. So we're just gonna talk about his story, his journey. He's gonna lay some gems on you. You ready to get into the meat and potatoes, bro?
Yeah, man, let's get it.
Okay. So first question is, what initially drew you towards a career in cloud DevOps, and how did your IT background influence that decision?
What drew me to the cloud DevOps role that I'm seeking right now is the fact that I needed a change. What I was doing, currently right now I'm working as a high school tech here in Columbia, South Carolina, and my wife ended up taking a job in Virginia. And so when I started looking for high school tech jobs up there, I wasn't having any luck finding any that was actually worth leaving right now. So
Mm,
I did get offered a job, but it was almost half of what I'm making here. And
mm.
actually comparing the salaries, I said no. So I couldn't really just make the jump. So after speaking with a friend whose wife actually completed the Level Up in Tech course, he told me about you. I did some research. I think I had reached out to you, and I kept going back and forth between you and him. And when he found, because at first he didn't tell me his wife took it. He just said, "Hey, this guy brought us. He's all over LinkedIn. I think you should check him out." And another buddy of mine told me about. I think his name is Professor Messer or Nesser. I can't remember the name,
Mm.
but they both told me to look into both of you guys. I looked into you, and what I saw, it kind of intrigued me. And then when he told me that his wife actually took the class and completed it, that was just like the icing on the cake to me.
Yeah, man. Shout out to I think it was Brian, right? Brian,
Right,
and shout out
right.
to Alexis. Yeah.
Mhm.
Brian hit me up today. He was like, "That's my guy right there. I'm glad you." Yo, man, look, because it's when you looking for a change, it's high anxiety because you don't know what you don't know,
Mhm.
right? And you have to push yourself to be able to say, "I'm gonna do it scared. I don't know what it's, I don't know what's in it for me, but I got to do something because I want out of this tech role." And what I'm seeing out in the 757 in Virginia ain't it.
Not in the
And you
role that
talking
I'm in
about,
now.
think about it, you talking about they offering you half for you to move, pick up and move. That's crazy, you know. And for those you don't know, that's the cologne king. That's the fragrance king right there. So that boy needing his fragrances on a daily to keep in that closet. So checks got to be coming, man.
Oh
You know?
yeah, I gotta have it. I gotta have it.
So when you decided to pivot, right, what emotions did you actually experience? Like fear, excitement, uncertainty, and
More,
how did you navigate them? Because I know we're talking about that right now.
I would more so say fear and anxiety. I have a
Oh,
I have a
can y'all
fear.
see? Can y'all hear? Put the LUs in the chat if you can see and hear me. Want to
Can you
make
hear
sure.
me?
Yeah. We
Okay.
got you back. I didn't know if it was me or whatever. So we got you back. Did you hear my question, or you need me to repeat it?
No, I got it.
Okay.
It was more so for me fear and anxiety. Fear of the unknown, my anxiety going off of can me myself, who is almost a 40-year-old male, learn a whole new set of skills that I was not intending to learn. Right now, like I said, my background is being a high school tech, and I'm also a DJ. So those are really the two skills that I've been honing in for the last couple of years, or well, as far as DJing, decades. But I
But
did
you
know
booked and busy with the DJ though. I'll
I
see you, bro.
I
I'll
try
see
I
you.
I try to stay busy. I try to stay busy, but when it came to pivoting into the cloud DevOps role, like I said, I didn't know what to expect.
Mhm.
And if you were to ask me 8 months ago in January when we started, I think it was January 5th or the 6th when we started, I could not even tell you what an EC2 instance is. I couldn't tell you I couldn't even tell you how to spin up a static website. So it was aspects of IT that I learned from Level Up in Tech that I never thought I would learn.
Mm.
But it also made me realize that there's a whole nother world out here that I had not been introduced to. So I definitely, Level Up in Tech has definitely been beneficial to me. The the instructors, everybody just is included. It's actually been very beneficial to me, and hopefully be very beneficial to me and my family moving forward.
Absolutely, man. And you just gotta keep that mindset right there because 8 months ago, when you said you didn't even know what an EC2 instance was or how to, deploy a static website, etc., all of those things that you feel or felt or still feel, you're going to continue to feel because it's tech. Everything is brand new. Things are continuously changing. So when you get into your role, you just got to keep that hunger like, hey, I know what I know, and I know I don't know a lot. So let me just continue to learn every single day, especially for y'all that's out there right now. The key to getting through this so you can reach your success, which means landing a role, it's just to decide that you're going to do it scared, whether it takes you 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, whatever. Same thing as Jeff is doing right now. He's walking through this journey and learning everything he can just to become better. So when he get the role, he can keep it and he knows what he's doing. Because that's the thing. I always say, like, you want a role right now. You're like, I want to get something as fast as possible. But if we just gave you the magic, hey, you got a role, $120,000 DevOps role. And this is for y'all that's listening. But you haven't gone through the journey of becoming the engineer. When you get the role, you won't be able to keep it because you don't know what it took to get it. So that's the whole thing y'all got to keep in your mindset. Just make sure detach from the outcome just a little bit and just make sure you just continue to get better and better. All right. So what have been the most critical skills or technologies you've learned so far? And why do you think they're vital for the role that you're going for?
The most critical skills I've learned so far, believe it or not, is patience.
Hmm.
Patience and actually trusting what I learned. I will say there have been times, and this was early on when, now that I look back at it, I would say that was more the easy stuff that we were working on. I was I would get frustrated to the point where I would just have to walk away. I would have to take the time to myself, but I wasn't really trusting what I was learning then from my instructors. Like I remember it was one night I could not like it was something I feel like with myself, I always make things that are very easy or that should be easy hard. I could not SSH into my EC2 instance, and it was something as simple as literally just opening up the port on port 22. Literally.
I'm laughing because that is, bro, like that's a mistake everybody makes.
So
you know what I'm saying?
I set up a call with one of my cohort members, and this is something that you guys really preach to us, is like to lean on your cohort members. And shout out to my guy Eric Francis. We did a quick call, and I'm talking about less than 5 minutes. We figured out what the issue was, and all I can do was just kind of face palm at that point because I was like, it could not have been that simple. But again, I know me, until I learn something, something that can be very simple, I make very hard. But the outcome when I actually get it, to me, is just like, I mean, it's something that you can't explain.
So let's talk about that for a minute, right? Because trust me, the thing that you just said, it's the thing that a lot of people go through, man. Like, so don't even feel bad for going through it, because this is what I tell people in tech that's trying to get into tech. I say you are your own worst enemy. So what's going to happen is you're going to have an issue. You're going to work on this issue for an hour or hours or damn near all day, right? You're going to get on a call with somebody and they're going to find it in 2 minutes. And you're going to say, yo, it took me like 3 hours to do this, man. I'm like, and it makes you feel like you're not good enough to go through this or anything. But that, if for all y'all that's listening, that is tech. Matter of fact, put your hand up. I want to see, raise your hand in the comments if you ever felt that way or experienced that, or you still feel that way today. Because the SSH issue is something that a lot of people go through, especially when they're starting, right? SSH, even, sometimes you get caught up on the simplest issues where you're like, connection timeout. What is going on? And you just got to get into that troubleshooting process where you're like, okay, this is what I'm gonna check first. Firewalls, right? You go to security group, etc. So put your hands up. I just want to see how many people have felt that way or still feel that way today. Like, oh man, I get stuck on some of the simple things. Even me. So this is what it is, bro. It's tech. So you're doing a fantastic job just by continuing and finding the answer, because guess what? That's an experience that you'll never forget. See what I'm saying?
That is
so if it happens again, if somebody else faces it, guess what you're gonna say? Oh, check that security group real quick. Make sure you got port 22 open. Make sure it's open to your IP or anywhere for, just a practice or whatever the case may be. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Everybody, we feel that way. Put the hand up. Thank you. So Kendra said, I hear your frustration part. Been there, still going through the motions. Yeah, absolutely. And that's daily. That's even when you get into a role. So when we talk about daily and when you get into a role, tell us, like, how does your daily routine look now compared to when you were solely in IT?
My daily routine now is thinking about, can I get more than one? Well, this is just me personally. Can I get more than one project done in a week? But I try my best not to jump ahead. But my daily routine is just more so the same that it's always been. It's just more extra added studying. I'm not going to sit here because I do not have the mental capacity to do that with everything that I do. I actually live alone right now. So I have to do everything. I have to come home. I have to cook. I have to make sure my house is still in order. Then I set aside about 2.5 hours a night to get my studying done. And then, of course, I have to talk to my wife before I go to bed because we are living apart right now. But that's what my daily routine looks like. On top of twice a week when we do our coaching calls, of course, I have to set aside that hour for that. But I found myself actually spending more time at the public library also because I feel like the environment in there is better than, even though I love my house, the environment of sitting in the library is more, it keeps me focused because I feel like I have a TV everywhere you turn around, my video
At
games,
home.
my music. I can easily get distracted, but when I get up and I go over to the public library in Sand Hills, I'm in a very controlled environment where I don't need to talk loud. I make sure my phone is on silent and do not disturb, and I try to get my work done.
Mm. And it probably makes you feel like you're at work as well.
It does.
Oh,
Oh,
so
and also, well, now that the summer's over with, I don't have that much time at work anymore. But I did spend a lot of time over the summer because nobody's in the building but me and the custodial staff. So I did spend a lot of time listening to, as I was imaging 1,200 computers, I was listening to my lectures on Pluralsight. That way I didn't have to come home and actually listen to it, and I can actually focus more time on doing my projects.
yeah. No, that's dope because guess what you're doing? You're making a sacrifice. So I don't know if y'all been following me, but I do lives every single day. And over the last few days, I've been really honing in on we say we have this goal that we want, but we're not willing to change what we do every day to make it happen. Right. So think about it. Everyone's situation is different, but think about this gentleman. He's apart from his spouse. He has a full-time job. He has children as well, but and he's dedicating a few hours a day to make sure his transition will happen. And he's learning everything he needs to learn. Some of us come out and say, "Oh, I want a job just like him." But when you look at the learning path of what you have to do, you're like, "No, I ain't gonna do that. I don't want it that bad." It all comes down to really the sacrifice that he's making right now is temporary because he knows once he lands that role, it's a wrap. That boy packing up. You know what I'm saying? He packing up. He gone. He out. And it's only the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And it's only the beginning. So just keep that in mind. The difference between the distance of where you are and where you want to be are your daily activities. Are you willing to change your daily activities? Your daily activities landed you to where you are right now. And if you're in a place where you don't want to be, then you not changing your daily activities are only going to leave you in the place that you are. It's not going to help you land a role. You have to change that. So keep that in mind. All right, so I see, Eric is definitely coming in and supporting you, man. So let's talk about what support systems like mentors, peers have been the most helpful during your transition, and how have they impacted your progress?
Number one, of course, has been my wife. She keeps me grounded. When she sees me getting frustrated, like whenever she is home, she will always definitely, make sure I'm okay. Tell me to take a break, step away from it. But those days are kind of far, far behind us. Not that I don't get frustrated, but I understand the material a lot more and a lot better. So I want to say it's getting easier. So I think I'm gonna go with that. But as far as my support system, her, and I lean on my family, of course. And I actually lean on my cohort. Like I got a select few people in my cohort that we chat amongst each other at least twice or 2 to 3 times a week. We check in with each other. We make sure that we're keeping each other motivated, making sure that we're not quitting. Because sometime between January and March, yeah, I was ready to give it up. I didn't care how much I paid. I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. But one thing about me, I'm not afraid to say it. I have quit a lot of stuff in the past. And I know they always want to, I know they tried to teach us when we were younger to not quit, but it was so easy to do it, and it almost was just that easy for me to walk away from this. But I said, no, I want to see this through, because I don't want to get 5, 6, 7 months down the line and I see all the people who I just met that were in my cohort landing jobs, life changing, and I'm sitting here still doing the same thing. Why? Because I quit, and I wasn't going to allow myself to do that. My spouse wasn't going to allow me to do that. And no, I couldn't do it. So I made up in my mind that, you know, it's only temporary. And I had to keep telling myself over and over again, because I said, you know, on top of me being a DJ and I stay busy on the weekends, I didn't have the time that I wanted to run up there and see her. Or when she was down here, you know, I'm sitting here studying, I'm trying to make time. And I just didn't want to do it. But I said, no, I'm going to see it through. And I refuse to give up. Even though we aren't finished, we are almost to the finish line. I believe we have about 2, maybe 3 weeks left. I know we are finishing up with Terraform, and I think we have the last milestone project to do. And then after that, it's time to study for these certifications, and it's time for us to start applying.
Yeah, I'm going through C&D, man. So yeah, it's hard, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's give it to the people. It's hard. Everybody out here has different issues, different things going on in their lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you didn't quit, because the thing I always say is you will always get your return on investment if you don't quit. The moment you quit is the moment everything is over. And I know you didn't want to get to the end where you see cohort mates just landing roles and you like, damn, bro, I could have did this and that. So you're doing the right thing by showing up every day. I remember when I seen you at the job fair, you was like, yo, I just took what you said and just said, no matter how I felt, I just showed up every day.
I remember that you not the job fair, but you said just keep showing up.
Yeah.
Just keep showing up. And I kept showing up, and because I thought at first I wasn't retaining the information because it was so much so fast. And I'm not the quickest learner. I'm a quick learner, but I'm not the quickest learner. But then it just kind of felt like everything just kind of started to slow down. Once I kind of changed my mindset and I got that frame of mind, like, okay, I can do this. Everything slowed down for me, and it just started coming to me naturally. Now, granted, again, there were still times, there were still portions where I needed help. I believe the hardest part that from just my perspective, has been the AI part. But I didn't let it break me. And our instructor for the AI part, man, he was phenomenal. It was Zaire. I can speak volumes about Zaire. Very great at what he does. Very good at explaining. I'm talking about to the point where I was stuck on, I believe it was the first project, for more than a week. And I finally got it. But just a little guidance. And I think that's what a lot of people, well, I'm not even going to say a lot of people, but me, we were so used to when you don't get something right then and there, it's just like, okay, we're just going to give you the answer. We're going to tell you how to do it, and we're going to move on. No, it wasn't like that. This boot camp was meant to push you. It's more so they're not going to give you the right answer, but they're going to guide you in the right direction. Like, okay, well, did you look at this? Okay, go back and take a look at this part right here. I believe something may be wrong. So they're pushing you to learn those critical thinking skills, because in those roles, we're not going to have them there. We're not going to have nobody to fall back on, maybe our coworkers. But at the end of the day, when you land that role and your superior says, hey, we need the CI/CD pipeline built, and we need everything automated. We want it done in Terraform language. I'm going to give you X amount of days to do it. It's going to fall back on me. It's not going to fall back on my cohort members. It's not going to fall back on my instructors. I have to rely on what I learned and skills that I retained to go ahead and get this job done, because they're not paying me $120,000 just to say, oh, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Nah, they're going to expect that to get done.
I literally was going to say that, right? Where, now, don't get me wrong, jobs are supportive, right? Mm-hmm. So like if you ask the right questions, they're going to help you, right? But no one is going to hold your hand like, hey, Jeff, we need you to build this workflow in GitHub, and they're going to, this is what you do. This is what you do next. This is what you do. If they're going to take the time to hold your hand through every single thing, then why are they spending that budget on that resource? So like, companies do train you, right? They will, but they expect you to come in with a certain process of understanding. Like, okay, if I haven't faced or I haven't had experience with Terraform before, I'm just making an example because you just said it, then I should have a process of trying to figure out what is Terraform and really get quick start on it to figure out how to solve problems with it. You should understand that process. And then you should understand the process of, well, if I find an error, what is my process of solving that problem? What did I do? And then after I've done those things, then I can take it to my team or lead and say, hey, this is what I'm facing. This is what I've done so far. And I tried these things and it's giving me this error. And I'm trying to see if y'all can point me in the right direction. Because once again, just like Jeff said, nobody's going to pay you a 6-figure salary to hold your hand through every step of the way to tell you what to do. That's just not going to happen. So if y'all thinking that, get that out your head. You got to push yourself to really understand and learn how to solve these problems. That's all I'm going to say. And no matter what, let me rewind this. Jeff said something where he was like, I'm not the fastest learner. And he said, I know a lot of people. And he was like, well, not a lot of people, me. I want y'all to understand, while you may look at other people, even if you're in a team sport, a cohort, or if you're in a Discord or whatever, if you're looking at other people and you're like, man, Jeff is killing it, and I'm over here having a hard time. I've been on this project for over a week, and Jeff and Susan and Tom over there just killing it. I guarantee you, Jeff, Susan, and Tom probably looking at you like, man, look at Brad, is he over there killing it? And we over here having a hard time. So when you realize everyone feels the same exact way, then you realize like everyone's on the same journey. We're just learning. That is all. Even the people, like the reason somebody is senior, right, is because they experience scenarios over and over and over again. And they have that experiencing those things, right? But when it comes to learning something new, they may have a process of how they learn. They're supposed to because they're senior. But guess what? Some people that's been in a senior level role for a long time don't have the process of changing into learning something different. They're comfortable doing what they want to do or doing what they've been doing for a while. So when something new comes, they are uncomfortable learning it. And just think everyone goes through this. So I just want y'all to understand that. Like, you're going to go through this process. It's a lifelong learning journey as long as you're here. You just got to do it scared, and you just got to have the confidence of like, I can learn this. Don't worry about it. All right. So where do you see yourself professionally in 1 year and let's say 5 years after completing the program and landing your role?
To be honest with you, I don't want to be in Columbia anymore. That's number one. That's number one. But in the next year, I do believe that I am going to land a role somewhere. Now, where, I don't know. Just be quite frank with you. But I do believe I'm going to have some sort of DevOps engineer job, maybe a junior. Never know.
Maybe associate level. We're going for the associate level.
I wouldn't mind being associate level. But as of right now, I do see myself being at least an associate level or junior level somewhere. Hopefully working remote. But if I got to go into somebody's job site, I have no problem with that. I do that every day right now. Yeah. But within the next 5 years, I tell you what, the way from what I've learned so far in the program, within the next 5 years, I'm hoping to maybe transition over to the Linux side. I do enjoy Linux. And honestly, believe it or not, Terraform is not really as bad as I thought it would be. I'm surprised that you guys held it out to the end. I actually like Terraform better than Python. So hopefully something dealing with Terraform.
It's fun.
Like I'm understanding that one a lot better than Python.
Yeah. So like one thing I didn't realize for myself, like I enjoy developing, right? Even though I'm not an expert using Node, or I'm not an expert as far as full stack, I enjoy that. I love building things.
Okay.
I love building the front end, back end, deploying it, containerizing it, using Kubernetes, using Terraform to deploy infrastructure. I love it, man. And I didn't think I would be that type of guy who would just, I can sit in a dark room and just work with code all day. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And everybody have their different drivers. But when you said Terraform's not that bad, it's like it's not. Because once you get the hang of it, you start actually creating,
Mhm.
right? Then you see what you can actually create. And you like, wow. Like for instance, I was talking to a friend who was at work. He was working with containers, and he was pushed to create certain things and deploy them in a container that he's never done before. And he was like, "Yo," he's been in tech for years. He's actually a senior architect. He was like, "Man, when I realized like me, not I mean, he knew it could be done. But he was like, when I realized me, I could create anything I want and now deploy it in a container." He was like, that was it just took my mind to a whole nother level. Because now I started thinking of everything I could do to deploy. And that's the way it is, because it's just exciting when you can see the real world tangible things that you built
Mhm.
and you know why you did it and the what behind it.
Right.
So Eric said, don't tell Zaire you like Terraform or Python. Yo, Zaire probably
Yeah,
watch.
he is the Python king, I will say.
Yeah,
He would
he's
not like to
very
hear
experienced.
that.
But you know, that boy coming out of school doing that for a long time, man. So shout out to Zaire. So, what advice would you give someone who feels stuck in their current job right now, but they're considering making a pivot to cloud or even DevOps?
What are you waiting for?
Hmm.
Um, and to be honest with you, I don't know if I would have moved on my own without this move happening with my spouse. I was so
Hmm.
comfortable in my position. So I believe this is all God's plan, because it forced me to move. Um, Even though I know, like, I found out after the fact, like after the move happened and after I got on Level Up, that eventually they said about a couple of years down the line that our department will be downsizing. Um, but I do feel like, because I am at one of well, I'm at the biggest high school in my district, and nobody wanted that job when I got hired there 5 years ago. So I mean, that was just, to me, that was just more job security if I can come in there and get it right. But me pivoting out of my role now, I probably wouldn't have done it without this move. And I'm glad this move happened, even though it showed me a lot about myself that I didn't like, but it also showed me a lot about myself that I did like. So I would definitely tell somebody who is stuck in their position, who wants to do it, go for it. Take a chance. We spend money on dumb stuff year in and year out. You spend thousands of dollars on vacations that only last a week. You spend hundreds of dollars on shoes that you only want to wear a few times. Don't get me started. You think I'm a cologne fool? You have not seen my shoe wall. But and I'm guilty of it. But it's just a lesson learned. But we spend so much money on stuff that's going to last us. Not like, well, let me say, it's not going to last as long. That vacation is only going to be about a week. That cruise will
Yeah,
only be a couple of days.
yeah.
And then if you actually look at the stuff that makes people happy, like when they go, like the money you spending at a bar, the money you spending at a club, the money you spending on alcohol weekly, you can put that to learn a new skill. So I just told myself, I was like, yeah, why not? Um, and in all actuality, of course, when money comes into play, that's when everybody gets scared. That's when everybody gets hesitant. But do you want to do that small sacrifice? And like you said, if you keep showing up, your return on investment will pay off. And that money that you spent to learn a new skill, once you land that six-figure job, guess what? In a couple of paychecks, you made your money back.
Yeah.
That's how I had to think
Even
about it. So, and
yeah.
again, it just takes me back to that word sacrifice. Are you willing to sacrifice the money, the time, the energy to get where you want to be in life? Or do you just want to be still living your regular life, doing the same thing you were doing with no excitement?
No, man, I like what you said, man. This is something I preach a lot because it's all about how bad do you want it, and you are the best stock that you could ever invest your money and time into. So, like, think about it. We invest into stock portfolios that we have no control over.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, let me invest in Tesla 2 years ago. Invest in Tesla. Let me invest in this and that. We have no control over the stocks that we invest thousands of dollars in.
Mm-hmm.
But here is a stock that you have control over the outcome every step of the way. And a lot of us stop right there. We don't want to invest in something that we have control over because, and I think sometimes we know ourselves. We're like, I don't want to spend this money. Then I don't do it because I know I'll skip a weekend, I'll skip a week, and next thing you know, I'm a week behind. But the most important thing you just have to tell yourself is if I show up every day, I'll just continue to get stronger. That's it. So, sorry, my wife probably in there. I don't know if y'all hear that. She's she's cooking a steak, y'all. Lord help me. Oh, Lord help us. She gonna kill me when she see this, dude. Sorry, y'all. I know that's loud.
Pray for you.
Yeah.
I gotta pray for you on that one. Yeah.
Cooking a steak. She got to. If I open this door, I'm gonna be suffocated with smoke. But man, listen. Last question I got for you. Okay. And I know you gave somebody advice of who's stuck, but if you can go back and give yourself one piece of advice at the start of the journey, what would it be?
That's a good question. If I had to give myself a piece of advice, block out all the outside noise. If you knew how much outside noise that was trying to filter into my head, making the decision to come, like even making the decision to even join Level Up because, oh, it's a scam. Those boot camps don't work. Yada, yada, yada. It just seems like everything and everybody wanted to be negative. I would definitely tell myself, trust yourself, trust your decision, and just block out all the outside noise because at the end of the day, are those people going to pay your bills at the end of the day? Are those people going to come and help you study? Are they going to be up with you on those late nights? Everything in this world can't be a scam. Yes, we do know there are some scams out here, but everything in this world can't be a scam. When I started looking up the program and I seen the success stories, and I actually know somebody who's been through I knew the husband of the person that was through the program, and she said, because she had already had a job with AWS, but she said what she learned and Level Up has helped streamline her job and make it so much easier because that's just that was something that she didn't know. So like I said earlier, ultimately that's what swayed me to join. So that was the only bit of outside noise that I allowed to infiltrate me, but everything else, you got to be able to block it out. You got to know when to distinguish it. Because at the end of the day, this was my journey. This is what I wanted to do. This is what they wanted to do. I remember, sitting at work, going back and forth with you and Kelly. Hey, what you think about it? Did you, what do you want to do? Just checking in with you. And I appreciate that because most places, like, they may check in with you one time, but it wasn't just one time with y'all. You guys stayed active with me. Every question that I had for you guys, you answered it, whether it was a hard question or not. I remember I came to you. I was going so deep into looking up stuff. I found something on Reddit. When they were like, and that's when I first found out. Well, not found out, but that's when I first started hearing, oh, it's a scam. But it was not a scam. But I reached out to a good friend of mine, who's very well connected, and I told him about it. And so he was like, well, let me look into it. And when he returned back with nothing but positive, that helped. But again, when I found out Alexis went through the program, I was like, yeah, well, I think this may be it for me. So again, if I had to give myself any advice, it would definitely be to block out all the outside noise, trust yourself, trust the process. And honestly, if I didn't feel like doing it, that's ultimately my choice. But I would have been losing out on something very big. Because again, like I said, 8 months ago, I had absolutely no idea what an EC2 instance was. I didn't know what Python was. I did not know what Terraform, Azure. I didn't even know AWS had a whole console, because only thing AWS I was dealing with was Amazon Prime, Amazon Home.
Right.
That's the only thing. That's the only AWS I was dealing with. So when they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna make an AWS account," I was like, "Why are we on Amazon?" And they were like, "No, like this is a whole back room platform where we do." And I'm like, "Huh?" And I think what really got it for me is when I think it was who was our first, I think it was Janita who was our first instructor. Yeah. I think she was explaining to us that Netflix is essentially built with S3 buckets or something. I can't remember the exact analogy, but it made a lot of sense. And I was
microservices and buckets for files and
something
objects
like that. And I was like,
APIs, all of that. Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
When you get to understand like everything like right now, right? We on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Oh, and that's another thing. Oh, I'm sorry.
Let me
cut you off. That's another thing. I had no presence on LinkedIn. I didn't even know how to use LinkedIn. But to those who are still kind of thinking like, if you're like me, I know I'm not a master of anything other than DJing and knowing my colognes, but I know how to navigate LinkedIn now. I know how to use LinkedIn. Why? Because in the first couple of months, they have you building your LinkedIn profile, and you want to stay active because guess what? At the end, that's when, you have so much content on LinkedIn. Now that's when the recruiters are going to start reaching out to you. But if you skip that part and you let your other cohort members get ahead of you guys, guess what? You may have 1 or 2 projects, but you got other people that got 16 to 20 projects, and they see their progress, but they're looking at you like, well, what's going on here? So they're not even going to look your way. But It's just the sheer fact that you guys even put that in the actual program, because like I said, I had no motion on LinkedIn. Only thing on social media I know how to do is promote myself on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Did not know how to use LinkedIn. Now I check LinkedIn daily. I think my LinkedIn bings more than any other of my social medias.
And now you're on a live too, right? Look, think about it. You're not even knowing what it really entailed to now we're doing LinkedIn lives, bro. 8 months later, talking about your progress, talking about how you're killing it and all. I think a piece of advice I would tell, I'm not going to say advice. I'm just going to say one thing I would tell myself is you are as smart as anyone in this industry. Because I think we look at tech and we say, man, I don't know nothing about none of that stuff. And we forget that everyone that's in this industry at one point didn't know anything about it. So they went to school or they took a course, they did something. And just don't let the thoughts that you think, the outside noise, tell you that you have to be a genius before you start. Your genius comes through who you truly are and how you creatively solve problems. That's the genius. The tech can be learned. All right. So we wanted to just really spend some time with Jeff Vaughn, and just talk to him about preparing for a cloud DevOps career and his mindset and what you need to do in order to be successful. And I really hope that you took these gems, and I hope they were valuable to y'all. I want to say, like, if you're in a place right now where you're mid-career, you're trying to transition, whether you're in tech already or you're not, and you really don't want to do this journey alone, go ahead and put the LU in the comments. LU, and I'll reach out to see how we might be able to help you on your journey. We might not, might not be able to. It just depends on what you're looking for, what you're trying to do with your career. One thing I just want to tell you is like we're a community. You're not gonna, go through this alone. You're going to get stronger and stronger every day. The only thing that's required of you is to just show up every single day.
That's it. All
Yeah.
you have to do is show up. Again, like I know I sound like a broken record, but there were multiple times I wanted to quit. But I just kept hearing what Broadus told me back in February. Just show up. Just keep
Yep.
showing up. And then, me wanting to build a different life for me and my family, I just couldn't quit. I could
Yeah.
not quit. So if you are, if you're on the fence and you're like, I kind of want to do it, but I haven't made up my mind yet. Again, ask yourself, where, like he asked me, where do you see yourself in a year? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And if you're still in the same role, doing the same thing, this might be what you need to do.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Drop the LU. I'll reach out. I'm a person you can ask questions with. And we just take this journey to really see how you want to or what you want to do and where you want to be in the next year. Because once again, the difference between the distance of where you are and where you want to be are your daily activities. And if you want the role that you see in cloud, you want to transition to a cloud engineering role or DevOps or whatever the case may be, cloud AI, you have to change what you're doing every day.
I
You have
will
to make a temporary sacrifice.
I will say some of the other cohort members that have started after us, I've had a few people reach out to me like, hey, how is it further on down the line? I'm like, it's good. As long if you can get through that beginning without quitting, it gets better. You know, and I always tell people just be prepared to do the work.
Yeah.
Your instructors, like shout out to Troy, Couture. Oh, I love Katoria. Coach K, that's my girl. I like her. But everybody, man, everybody's been very good. Even when we didn't think they were being very good because we needed help, like a milestone project, and we all got like the groups we got stuck, but it's like it forced us to really rely on each other to get
As
where
a
we
team.
go. Like as a team, we had to build it out. So yeah, and I think Level Up has definitely taught me better critical thinking skills. Even like in my daily job, when problems come around, because I deal with so many different people from so many different walks of life. I don't know what question I'm going to be asking on the daily. It can be something as simple as my
Mm.
computer won't cut on, or well, what do we do about this? So, before Level Up, I was not a critical thinker. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. But this program has forced me to become a critical thinker, to actually sit and think before I answer, to make sure I'm giving the best answer I can give.
I love it, man. Last thing I will say is when you come in, just understand you're going to be your own worst enemy because a lot of us want to be an expert in a certain subject before we move forward to another one. Right. So let's say you're doing something for a few weeks and then we move to another subject and you're like, I don't feel like I'm ready to move forward. Like, I don't even know half of this yet. I can't. Just understand you are here to get exposed. You're not here to become an expert. That the experience that you have or you're going to develop to become an expert is what you get on the job over the
Mm.
years. Get exposed into solving problems and let that learning compound, and just don't beat yourself up if you don't know certain things. That's even whatever you're doing by yourself in a Discord, whatever. Don't beat yourself up because you don't know certain things, because sometimes you won't learn retro things that you touch until you learn something else new. And you be like, oh, wow, that's why such and such connects to such and such. And it's just tech. We're all learning. So don't beat yourself up trying to be the expert. Just come and just say, am I better? Am I better than what I was yesterday? Who I was yesterday? Yep. then you made progress. That's it. But hey, Jay, I appreciate you, man, for just jumping on, sharing your story, and kind of sharing, the things that you're going through to prepare for the cloud DevOps role. I'm gonna text you my shoe collection. I want you to see this joint. we both got two things in common. We like fragrances and we like sneakers, man, and shoes. So y'all that's listening, I appreciate y'all coming out and just showing support, checking out Jeff's story. If you got any questions, you can reach out to him on LinkedIn. Your boy said he on LinkedIn. You see him on there. He's big on there right now. So if he takes a while to get back, hey, don't worry. He got a lot of people that's reaching out. All I'm going to say to y'all is continue to get better every single day. This is your year to level up. Jeff said block out the outside noise. That's exactly what you need to do. Focus on what your goals are, because if you let other people talk you out of your goals, then you're going to be just like them. All
Focus
right?
on that why. Focus on the why.
Focus on that why. Until tomorrow, I'll see y'all. Thank y'all for showing up. Let's continue to level up. Love y'all. See you later.